ready to go?
Yep.
I had a question on salaries and wages. Requested 320,000, and you only spent 262 in 19. So, what about really?
Necessary? No. I have looked
Good
at
answer.
that. I know. I'm easy to deal with. But I will get back to that in just a minute because I made a boo-boo on something that I sent y'all. But, you want me to go ahead and tell y'all my?
Yeah.
If it's salary,
Okay.
salary wages?
It's on my contract services down at the bottom.
Right.
I was asking for an increase in that up to 36,000. The reason I'm asking for that is I want to switch over to a new system, which is called CoFile. They do most of the indexing for Georgia and all over the U.S. It will take away, because I was actually going to have to hire somebody to help do liens. This will take that away because they do every bit of the indexing. They'll do it for my liens, plats, and deeds, which we farm out right now, but this will be a little more expensive. But whereas now the things that, what we call farm out, which is, let another company do it, we still have to scan, make sure there's no mistakes, all that good stuff, where this company, CoFile, they do all that for you. They double check everything, actually have two people check once it's scanned in to make sure there's no mistakes. They keep up with how much money comes in on it, and then sends it to our bank. So it's pretty much, I don't want to say there's no mistakes in it, but if there is, they catch them. They catch them if somebody who files the deed makes a mistake. CoFile will catch it, because we don't really, we'll read over the deeds and make sure that the legal things are there that we have to have on it to file it, but that's pretty much all we do. They do everything, all that for us. So I was wanting to switch over to them. Like I said, they're a little more expensive than what I'm using now, but it does more for us. It takes away the need of me having another person. But my boo-boo I made was on the 36,000, and it's actually gonna be around 55. I know.
That's an heck of a boo-boo.
That's a
Yeah.
big boo-boo, I know. So that goes back to the salary and wages, because that's what I was thinking, take off some of that because I
Alright,
don't use
which one?
it. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh.
It popped up back there.
To, take off the salary and wages to make up for that, or a good bit of that.
It looks like on salaries and wages, we can go a little bit less. The 275 work there, that'd be more than we spend this year.
Let's see, actually 262. Yeah, we can do the 275. Because like I said, I've already got enough girls in there, and that's gonna reduce my need of needing one for the liens.
Is that K now that you access for real estate deeds, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the co-file.
Yeah.
Yes, and a good thing about it, there's so many good things about it. It's gonna actually generate revenue because the public can access it. And then they have to pay for copies they print out, like attorneys everywhere, instead of coming here, and it'll generate more revenue, because it's amazing how much we would get in just on copies.
I'll be
Copies.
able to access that.
I'm sorry.
I'll be able to access that.
Yes, you will. I even brought my laptop up here, somebody wants to look at it in a minute.
I've used it downstairs. In fact, I wondered why deeds weren't being recorded. And then the lady asked, I said, use K.
Uh-huh,
It worked real well.
yeah.
So did we change that to 275?
275.
Okay. Right, yeah, I got 55.
K has, and initial K. though.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. And then on the travel, I brought up stuff for it. We have 4 conferences a year. Of course, I don't go to all 4 of them. 2 of them are mandatory, and one of them I just go to if I can, just because I like to learn everything I can. But there's no way, and I even try to get like good deals on the rooms, because we all have to stay at the specific places. But there's like no way that I can do that for $2,500. So like I said, I brought all the receipts from last year, and usually food and stuff, I buy a lot of it on my own, because Chelsea usually goes with me. Of course, I spend none of county money on her, so usually I'll just pay for mine and hers personal. But that's why I was asking for the increase in it. And sometimes all that won't be used in one year, because like I said, a lot of times don't go to the winter conference in February, but just in case, because like I said, if they're having a class that, which I need to learn on everything, I always will, but if they're having like a specific class, those few days, I'd like to sometimes do those.
We're talking about a lot of ours are online.
Yeah,
now.
well, this year, that's why I've got to do this one. We've got one coming up in November. It's usually in October, but on election year, they do it in November, because I didn't go to the one in spring because of the COVID. They ended up doing it online, and I didn't do it. I guess I think the timing was bad, because you have to sit in office, which I'd have probably stayed home, and you had to just sit there and do it just like you were in class there. And but a lot of stuff I'm gonna try to start doing online.
Last item, what is that? Equipment account.
That clerk of court, that's your special equipment
Yeah,
account. that you
special
get.
equipment account, yeah.
It's a separate cash account as well. She gets checks every month from the Georgia
Georgia Superior
Court
Clerks.
Council.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of
The
things in it.
GCCCS.
GSCCCA.
Yeah. And those funds come from, like, do I understand correctly that those funds come back to y'all from like filing fees and stuff, where people have gone online and done things and that kind of?
Yes, a
Okay.
lot of that
Part of it
stuff,
anyway?
yeah, and a lot of the copies and stuff, but that's the thing with co-file, the copies that are gonna be coming from it will go to the commissioner.
Is that
It won't go into that account.
Is that co-file with a K?
Yes,
Okay. That's what I thought.
it's KOFILE.
Okay. But that money in that account can only be spent for equipment and things for her office, for Clerk of Superior Court's office. Rolling files, desks, chairs, you
Yeah.
know, that kind of, copiers.
Is the revenue offset for that, this,
There is a revenue
equipment
offset.
grant?
Mhm.
That's the one.
Okay.
And usually, I mean, some years there's a little more spent out of it, some years there's less. Most years, well,
How do
usually,
we get minus 3,900 in revenue?
that's because 3,900 more than what was budgeted has been collected. We budgeted 25,000, and at the end of
Oh, I see.
September, there was 28,000, right, yeah. So, just depending on what's needed in her office
Yeah.
every year, sometimes more spent, sometimes less.
But this is based on what's budgeted though, now, actual
Right.
right now. Okay.
It's really restricted,
It is.
so it really doesn't need to be in this. It could easily not be.
It could easily not be in.
Okay. I don't do anything else.
And then I was wanting to, on the Board of Equalization one, on the education and training, next year, the only reason I asked for an increase in it, and again, hopefully it won't be needed, is because this year I am over budget on that because everything had to be online training. And for some reason, it was triple what a regular class
And
is.
see, that's just,
That is crazy. Like, we have, some BOE members that needed a 20-hour class where it would have been $50 if they went to Savannah, or sometimes they're in Dalton. This year, to do it online, they had to do it in what's called modules, and they had 4 modules each. They were $119 each module.
that's crazy.
So next year, I'm not sure how it's gonna be. We can leave it at that, and then, you know, I'll be over again. I don't like it, look like I've gone over on my budget. But, that's why I asked for that. And I've got all the receipts for those. I even, emailed the Department of Revenue and griped about it, but it didn't do any good. Never does.
One question I do have. Becky said when she was in here earlier today for her budget discussion, intangibles, are y'all gonna start handling those in your office now?
We already have, yeah.
Okay, so that, all right, that answers my question.
That was all part of, e-filing, just to make it easier on Becky and the, citizens. Because what you would usually have to do if we had not took over the intangibles was if they came in wanting to file a deed, usually they go down to Becky's office, figure out how much the intangibles are gonna be, do what's called a PT 61, and then bring it to our office and file the deed. Well, since we started e-recording, which is not mandatory, you know, if you've got one deed to file, you don't have to set up an account and e-record. You can still bring it in. But, people sitting at home, you know, want to or these attorneys want to do it, e-filing it, they would have to get up and go to Becky's office, do the PT 61, and go back.
So this
So
eliminates
if we
the
took it
step.
over, it eliminated the step for them. They do it all in one, pretty much one step on their computer. But yeah, we started that probably about 3 months ago, and it's worked good, I think, for all of us.